Hi guys, my name is Marco, and today I'm talking with Peter Zakin from Upfront Ventures here at Shift Miami 2025. Peter, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me, as an investor, what are you looking for in dev tool startups in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's always been products that are just really great products. I think that's sort of like an obvious answer, but products that are doing things a different way. I love products that are a little bit radical in what they do, whether that's from a technical perspective or just capturing some customer segment that's maybe underserved. Things are shifting so rapidly in AI today that there's just like a really abundance of opportunities.
Yeah, thank you. So how do you go about basically evaluating AI startups? What are some of the key points that you are looking for as an investor?
A lot of it is really just value. Like, is this a product that customers are in love with? Is there a really strong pull? Are they doing something that's providing a tremendous amount of value? We see lots of different types of tasks being automated. Lots of things that previously were impossible now becoming almost prosaic. So yeah, I think it's we live in this almost science fiction type of environment, and so looking at products or investing in products that are pushing things forward in really novel ways is always interesting to us. And
Yeah, being at the forefront of it. So like, what are parts of developer workflow that are yet to be disturbed by AI automation, in your opinion?
it's a really good question. I think we're still in the early phases of figuring out the best way to leverage coding agents. Agents have permeated our IDEs and have made it easier for people to write code faster. But other parts of the development lifecycle are still a little bit slow, or at least are still not leveraging AI the way that they probably should. One area that I think a lot about is product management. So what is the future of using AI to establish clear requirements that can then be delegated off to coding agents? I sometimes think or say that like the main limiter for the usefulness of coding agents is actually our ability to clearly communicate requirements. And so using AI to help PMs and engineering managers and engineers themselves better define tasks that they want completed, I actually think is underexplored.
Yet to see some disruption in that field. So how will AI change startup lifecycle? What will AI native founders do differently?
Will AI native founders do differently? Um, it's an interesting question. I'm not sure that it's anything different than what founders of the past have done. Being able to know your customer really well, finding angles of attack relative to incumbents. So I don't know that it necessarily changes the game. We are seeing that AI startups are, getting revenue traction, or some of them are getting revenue traction faster. It speaks to the level of demand that AI buyers have. So maybe it's changing the speed of the life cycle, if not necessarily the different pieces of it.
Yeah. So the game is still basically pretty much the same. Yeah.
Just moving a little faster.
Yeah. So how do you see software engineering evolve in the next couple of years because of AI?
I think we're going to continue to get more and more leverage, and we're going to see work kind of climb this ladder of abstraction. And I sort of spoke to this a bit ago, but today, if developers are spending most of their time inside of their IDEs, I still think they'll spend a lot of time in their IDEs. But I think the kinds of work that they're doing is maybe higher leverage and working at higher levels of abstraction. I think that developers will probably spend more time writing using natural language to define the systems that they're building. I think developers will care more about the holistic systems and integrating, creating a fully automated product development lifecycle and orchestrating various pieces of that lifecycle. So I think the work is just going to get higher, is going to get more and more leveraged, which should shift the types of work sort of up that abstraction ladder.
Interesting thinking. So, would you agree that agentic experience is the new developer experience, or would you argue that statement?
It's a really good question. I think we're still figuring this out. I think that there are certain tools that are now made easier to use because of AI. So I think like the learning curve starts to flatten. So maybe technologies that were harder for humans to use in the past now become more approachable. I think that there are certain usage patterns, like Daytona, which is one of our portfolio companies, is a great example of this, where the need to spin up sandboxes to run AI code is something that doesn't have as much precedent in infrastructure, but actually now becomes this like incredibly important need. So I think the usage pattern shift, the appetite for technologies, it changes. But ultimately, humans are still
driving the whole change. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last question is, you basically just finished your panel discussion here at Chip Miami. So how are you enjoying conference so far? And this is your first time here in
This
at
is
Chip
my
Miami.
first
Yeah,
time. It's a pleasure to be here.
pleasure having you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and we had a super fun panel with Ken, Yvonne, and Jesse. Yeah, so it was super fun.
Awesome. Well, enjoy your stay and talk to you soon.
Cool, awesome. Thanks for
Bye.
having me.